भगवान श्री योगी राम सूरत कुमार की जय। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। राम 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 योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। राम 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 योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, योगी राम सूरत कुमार, जय गुरु राया। राम 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 Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram. Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram. Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram. Rama Rama Ram. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. Jaya Guru Raya. Kumar. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram. Rama Rama Ram. Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar. ராயா யோகி ராம் சுரத்குமார் யோகி ராம் சுரத்குமார் யோகி ராம் சுரத்குமார் ஜெய குரு ராயா ராம 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 ராம் ராம 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 ராம் ராம 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 ராம் ராம ராம ராம் ராம 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 ராம் ராம 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 ராம் ராம 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 ராம் ராம ராம ராம் யோகி ராம் சுரத்குமார் யோகி ராம் சுரத்குமார் யோகி ராம் சுரத்குமார் ஜெய குரு ராயா யோகி ராம் சுரத்குமார் யோகி ராம் சுரத்குமார் யோகி ராம் சுரத்குமார் ஜெய குரு ராயா ராம 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 ராம் ராம 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 ராம் ராம 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 ராம் ராம ராம ராம் ராம 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 ராம் ராம 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 ராம் ராம 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 ராம் ராம ராம ராம் யோகி ராம் சுரத்குமார் யோகி ராம் சுரத்குமார் யோகி ராம் சுரத்குமார் ஜெய குரு ராயா யோகி ராம் சுரத்குமார் யோகி ராம் சுரத்குமார் யோகி ராம் சுரத்குமார் ஜெய குரு ராயா ராம 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 ராம் ராம 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 ராம் ராம 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 ராம் ராம ராம ராம் ராம 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 ராம் ராம 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 ராம் ராம 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 ராம் ராம ராம ராம் सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार जय गुरु राया योगीराम सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार जय गुरु राया योगीराम सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार जय गुरु राया योगीराम सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार जय गुरु राया राम 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 योगीराम सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार जय गुरु राया योगीराम सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार जय गुरु राया योगीराम सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार जय गुरु राया राम 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 योगीराम सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार जय गुरु राया योगीराम सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार जय गुरु राया योगीराम सुरकुमार योगीराम सुरकुमार योगी राम सूरत कुमार योगी राम सूरत कुमार जय गुरु राया योगी राम सूरत कुमार योगी राम सूरत कुमार योगी राम सूरत कुमार जय गुरु राया Ram 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 Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Jaya Guru Raya Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Jaya Guru Raya Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Jaya Guru Raya Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Jaya Guru Raya Rama 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 Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Jaya Guru Raya Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Jaya Guru Raya Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Jaya Guru Raya Rama 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 Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Jaya Guru Raya Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Jaya Guru Raya Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Jaya Guru Raya Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Rama 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 Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Jaya Guru Raya Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Yogi Ram Tarakma Jaya Guru Raya Rama 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 भगवान श्री योगी राम सूरत कुमार की जय। सर्वं योगी राम सूरत कुमारार्पणमस्तु। With deep gratitude in celebration of his grace, we have offered the Nama lotuses at the lotus feet of Bhagavan. Now today we shall see a story which is very effective and which is something that's happening in many, many lives. It's a story of Buddha. There are many, many beautiful stories. There was a crow. A crow was one day sitting on one of the branches of a tall tree and was crying, very upset about something in life, and was crying and crying and crying. Now under the tree there was a Mahatma sitting. Now this Mahatma heard the cry of the crow, and then immediately he looked up and asked, "Why are you crying? What happened?" The crow complained, said, "Look, I'm so ugly. I'm a lowly being. And people don't like me, they hate me. And what's more, wherever I go, they shoo me away. They chase me out. They're not feeding me also. What is the use of such a life? Why shouldn't I finish it off?" The Mahatma said, "Oh, so you think you don't like what you are being, and then you want to change yourself. Okay, you tell me, what would you like to become? There are so many birds, other birds. Do you think any other bird is happy that you would like to be one such?" Then the crow said, "Oh yes, you see, I'm very dark, I'm black, and so ugly, and that's the reason why people chase me out. You look at the swan. The swan is so pure white and so beautiful. Surely it must be happy. I would like to be a swan, Swami." Then the Mahatma smiled to himself and said, "Okay, I will see that you become a swan. But before that, I would like you to go and meet one of the swans and ask if the swan is happy." He said, "Yes, Swami, I will do it immediately." And he left and he found one swan and said, "My dear swan, are you happy in life?" The swan said, "Oh no, I'm not happy at all." "But why? You look so beautiful. You must be happy. I'm so ugly. I don't compare very well with other animals or birds." "Oh no, you don't understand. You see that parrot? The parrot can fly high. They can go from one branch to the other. And you see, they are so beautifully colored. So many colors. They look so beautiful. And it seems to me that parrot is very happy. You see, I'm only white. There are so many colors in the world, and I don't know why God has given me this white color. I'm not very happy." Then the crow went back and said to the Mahatma, "This is what the swan said. Okay, now you go to the parrot and ask the parrot if the parrot is happy. So immediately the crow went, it caught hold of a parrot, a beautifully colored parrot, and said, "Parrot, are you happy in life?" The parrot said, "Oh, I am not so happy as I want to be." "But why? You look so beautiful and you can fly." "But don't you see, the man, he likes me because I'm so beautiful, and sometimes they catch us and put us in a cage. I've seen some of my friends caged like that. So the fear is there in me all the time that I would be caught too and thrown into a cage. And this fear would not let me rest. I feel so frightened, and I think often, what's the use of this life? Why should I live? Do you think that any other bird is happy?" Then the parrot said, "Look at the peacock, how beautiful it is. It has more colors and more beautiful colors than me. And you see the way it dances. And so many people love to watch that. And it has no fear of being caged. So I think the peacock should be very happy." Now the Mahatma sent the crow to the peacock. And the crow saw, it was trying to find one peacock, because it was a huge town. There was no sign of peacocks anywhere. Finally, it managed to find one in a zoo. So then when it went into the zoo, it saw hundreds of people standing around and watching, mesmerized, the dance of the peacock. And then the crow thought, surely this peacock must be happy. See, hundreds of people are sitting and watching. Such beauty it has, and such beautiful dance. Surely it must be happy. And what colors, what feathers. And then it went near and asked, "Oh peacock, you're so beautiful, and you dance so beautifully, and you see there are so many people here watching you, spellbound. Surely you must be happy. Are you happy?" The peacock said, "Oh, I'm not so happy as you think. You see, they have put me behind these fences. I cannot fly very high. It's also like a cage. And because I'm so beautiful, people gather here, but what's the use? I'm behind these fences." And not only that, the peacock said, "I went around the zoo. After I came here, I saw every bird, animal caged here. And they're all unhappy. We are not in our natural surroundings. None of us have any freedom. I don't think any of us here is happy." And then the peacock said the one thing that shocked the crow. "You see, it's all because I'm beautiful. I'm caught by these men and put behind the fences. But if only I were like you, a crow, nobody would bother, and I would have my freedom. Just see what happens. I would like to be a crow." Now, you can imagine how it must have shaken the crow. The crow immediately flew back to the Mahatma and reported. Now the Mahatma smiled once again. "Now have you learnt it? Have you learnt the lesson? Whatever God has given to you, wherever God has placed you, that is the best. It's no use comparing oneself with others and all the time feel as though you lack something. You are much better off than many, many other birds. Always remember, God has given you the best, and be grateful to Him for all that you have already got. Now, we shall continue the story with another story, which is already familiar to people. I have already shared it with some of you. Now, one day this crow was feeling very thirsty, and then it began to fly here and there looking for some water. It was the summer season, and there was very little water, and the crow was unable to find. And after quite some flying, finally it came across one mud pot somewhere. It was so eager, it came down and looked inside. There was a little water, but it was down there, deep down there. And the mud pot has a narrow neck. The crow was unable to put its head inside. It knew that it wouldn't be able to come out. Now, how to get the water? There is water there, and the crow is thirsty, but how to get it? It's beyond its reach. The crow, being very clever, it just took one pebble and put it down into the mud pot, and the water level rose to that extent. Now the crow understood this is the trick that he should play. So immediately he picked up pebble after pebble after pebble and put them one by one into the pot, and slowly the water rose, and finally it came up to the neck, and now the crow was happy. It drank the water and flew away happily. Now, many of us in life, we think that we lack something. All the time we complain to God, why have you put me in this condition? You have singled me out for this suffering. Just see how many people, neighbor on this side, neighbor on the other side, and people in the opposite houses, they are all so happy. And they have this and that, and I don't have any of them. Why have you put me in this position? So you have thirst for the comforts you think you do not have, only others. And then you go in search of them. Now we know that from the story of the crow, the first story, it's very difficult to find happiness in life if you entertain some complaint or the other. If you entertain that you lack something, then it will grow and grow out of all proportion, and one day it will consume you. Instead, if we think, just as our Bhagavan Yogi Ram Surat Kumar said, contentment is the best of wealth, that even Kubera has all the wealth in the world, in all the worlds, and yet he does not have contentment. We know what happens in Devaloka. We have heard many stories. So Bhagavan declared in Sannadhi Street House, this contentment is the greatest wealth. He also told me one day in Sudama, Devaki, wherever Father keeps this beggar and you, accept it wholeheartedly. Not only should you accept it wholeheartedly, but be grateful to him. Be grateful to my Father for that. Now why would he say so? Because all the great souls say that one high power, that supreme power, is running the whole show of the cosmos. It is running my life, it is running your life, it is running the life of all the birds, it is running the life of all the animals, the life of the human beings, the life of devas, and all other celestial beings as well. Why? Because my Father alone exists. There is nothing else, no one else. Now that one has become all creatures, it become the entire creation. And Bhagavan said that the supreme power is already arranging everybody's life in the best way possible for that being. Best for what? Best for the spiritual growth of that being. So all our past karmas, be they good or bad, they find their suitable place in the run of our life in such a way that they would all push us towards God, so that we get transformed. So the life, everyone's life is meant for transformation. Transformation for what? To reach God. God is the one goal of life. And to reach God, to attain God, to merge with Him, everyone's life prepares them with its string of joys and sorrows. So they simply happen according to our spiritual growth. The aim of all these sufferings is only to push us towards God and give us a greater kinship with Him. Every suffering happens only for our greater good. And that's why Bhagavan said, wherever Father keeps his beggar and Devaki, we have not only to accept it wholeheartedly, but be grateful to God for this. Because God is already arranging the best at any moment for everyone. If we understand the secret of life, then we will have nothing to complain of. And that's why Bhagavan always made us sing, Kurayundu Mille Maraimuthi Kanna. I have no complaints. I have no complaints in life. Because you are there to give me what I want, what I need. You may not give me what I want, because what I want may not be good for me. But you will definitely give me what I need. And if I need a suffering to transform me towards God, then God will definitely give me that suffering. Then how should we receive it? Oh, this suffering has come to me now for my spiritual growth. This is my Atma Labha. This has come to me to transform me, to make me sattvic. So if we understand and look upon it as a blessing in disguise, it will very soon prove to you how it is a blessing to you. You can see it in life practically. So this we shall learn today from the story of the crow. We shall now offer our today's prayer at the lotus feet of Bhagavan. Bhagavan, we pray and pray and pray to you. We beg you a million times for your immediate divine intervention to bring forth a dharmic normalcy to the world, to the whole world, in all aspects of life. Please bring in harmony and healthy competition and no war, mutual help and understanding, and above all, the control of the violence of nature. There is earthquake, forest fire, flash floods and whatnot. So only Bhagavan, you can save us from all that. And we beg you to uproot all the negativities of the human mind which are responsible for today's world. We also beg you, Bhagavan, to reach out to all those people who have been stranded in various places all over the world for some reason or the other, unable to help themselves, unable to protect themselves. We beg you again and again to do the needful for all of them. And Bhagavan, we beg you again, for the sake of all those unselfish people who have been doing service, hard work for the sake of the others. Protect from what? From the aspersion, from the criticism of others. Because they come in the way of service. And Bhagwan, we beg you again to promote more and more the economy of the country. You have often declared that India would be the world teacher one day, that India would progress to its peak in all fields of activity, science, technology, industry, arts, and its military might. We beg you for this to happen sooner than later. You have said that India would lead all other countries in the path of Dharma, that this would happen one day. And Bhagwan, we pray to you in all earnestness and sincerity for unbroken remembrance of your leelas, your teachings, and ceaseless chanting of your name, your powerful name. We also beg you to bless us to be sattvic instruments in your hands. And please bless us to run our everyday life as an offering to you. We beg you again for that bestowal of grace which would prevent us to fall into the pit of Maya, to save us from the temptations of life. We also seek that ultimate state of bliss which is independent of any object or person. But then we need to be purified. We take refuge in the chanting of your name and in the joy of your service without any jealousy or unhealthy competition. And that in the service, in the spirit of service to you, in the spirit of surrender to you, and the practice of acceptance of whatever life brings to us, be it a joy or sorrow, coming from you, by your will, it's got to be a definite blessing, a blessing in disguise, as you said before. We have to keep trying hard. It's very difficult, but try, we must. And then we will be able to be aware of the pulsating, vibrant, living presence of God everywhere and everything. Bhagwan, please enable us to see your sankalpa, your will, your grand plan behind all the happenings of the world, all the happenings of our lives. Above all, we beg you to bless us to detect that hidden grace even in the most devastating experiences of life. Instead of grumbling that we have failed and everyone else is the reason for our failure, we blame others for our own failures, refusing to see our own defects. And then we resent that God has let us down, little knowing that it's we who ourselves invited those sufferings by our past karmas. And yet God, or Bhagwan Yogi Ram Sarat Kumar, out of his compassion and generosity, makes it a blessing. He pulls us towards himself into his fold and converts all the difficulties into blessings. Bhagwan, we beg you to make us grateful even for the adversities of life. Only you can do it. And we also seek your blessings for all the species of the cosmos, in whatever state of being they are, in whatever state of misery they are, to be lifted to a higher plane. And finally, we seek that liberation, that dissolution. We who have been seeking only solutions all the time to the ever-raising, ever rising waves of problems in our daily life. Now seek the solution, freedom from the vicious cycle of births and deaths. For that we should be free from the tyranny of our ego, the I and mine. I want it for myself. If I can't get it, I want it for my people. It doesn't matter how others suffer. Only you can liberate us from this selfishness. And Bhagavan, please bless us with that immortal life, that eternal living and eternal loving, and eternal servitude to you, that eternal supreme power. Jai Yoginam Sadat Kumar.